Dun 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 dun. Hey friends, welcome. I am so glad that you're here with me today. I actually had a different video that I was planning to do for today, but then at D23 this weekend, or I should say last weekend, we got the X-Men cast announcement. And I'm like, well, there goes my plans. I am not talking about what I was going to talk about. I'm talking about the X-Men cast announcement because I am a huge X-Men fan. I've been a huge X-Men fan since I was a young boy. And that's a long time ago, guys. I have been waiting for something like this to happen. And granted, we've had other X-Men movies, and I've enjoyed the X-Men franchise prior to Disney acquiring the rights to it. It's been great, but I really believe that it is slated for true greatness with the upcoming X-Men saga in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So hang out with me. We're gonna go into some of these casting announcements, but make sure that you have some snacks or drinks to consume if you want to while you're watching this video. And I will be right here waiting for you when you get back if you pause the video. But if you've already got your snacks and your drinks or whatever it is you want to consume, maybe it's a great dessert, we are going to move on and we're going to talk about the casting announcement. And this has been a long time coming, I feel like. I have never been a big comic book reader except for the X-Men. I read X-Men comics when I was younger. My favorite Marvel superhero is Gambit, who is, of course, one of the X-Men. And I've just always been a huge fan of Marvel. I've been a fan of DC as well, but Marvel does it better, in my opinion. Always has. Maybe that's unpopular, I don't know, but that's my opinion. So, when I found out that we had gotten the casting announcements, I just had to talk about this because the X-Men are one of my favorite ways to escape reality. So here we go, guys. Let's talk about this. So I'm going to start with the release date first. We did get a brief logo for the X-Men franchise, and we got a release date for the first movie in the X-Men franchise, and that is May 5th, 2028. It seems a long way away, but it's not really that far away if you think about it. We're already halfway through 2026. 2027 will be upon us, and then before you know it, it'll be 2028. So it's not that far away, even though it seems like it. And so we're going to go ahead and get to the castings here. And the first one I want to talk about is Sadie Sink. If you watched Stranger Things on Netflix, definitely one of my favorite shows. Sadie Sink is great in that show, and she has been cast as Jean Grey. Now, we've known this for a while, okay? We've known that she was Jean Grey for a while, or at least we had speculated on it. But, plug your ears if you have not seen the newest Spider-Man movie and you don't want spoilers. Just plug your ears because she played Jean Grey in the new Spider-Man movie. And Jean Grey is a very powerful psionic. She is an Omega-level mutant who has both telekinetic powers and telepathic powers. So she is extremely strong, just as strong as Charles Xavier, who we'll talk about later. If you're familiar with the comics and the history of the comics and even some of the movies that have been done already, you may be familiar that she also embodies a entity from space known as the Phoenix. And I don't know if she's going to start off with that in this iteration of the X-Men, but at some point I guess we'll probably explore that scenario. Either way, I'm here for it. I'm really excited that we got Jean Grey on the list. And the nice thing about this is all of these actors are young, which the X-Men were really young when they started at Xavier's School for Gifted Children. I'm just really excited that they're going with a younger cast that can be in it for the long term. So let's move on. We're going to go to KJ Connor, who is playing the Cyclops. Now, I know nothing about KJ Connor. The only thing I know is he's tall enough to play the role. In the comics, Cyclops is really tall. He's like over 6 feet, 6'5", I think, right around there. And KJ Connor is over 6 feet, so that works. It'll be a good casting. I'm really excited about this. And I don't know much about him, but that's one of the other things I love about these castings is they picked mostly unknown actors and actresses. Some of them have been in a few other things, but most of these are brand new to acting, and they're getting cast for the MCU, and I think that's really how it should be done. So we're moving on to Professor Charles Xavier, another Omega level psionic, and he's being played by Christopher Abbott. I only know briefly of him from some castings that I saw for, I think it was The Wolfman. I think he may have played the Wolfman, or he was in the movie anyway. I haven't seen it. I don't know, but I only discovered that he was in that movie, and that's the only thing I know of that he's really well known for. So, but he has been cast as Professor Charles Xavier, and I think it's going to be good. I don't know that much about him, but he looks the part, so I'm all for it. And yeah, it's going to be hard to let go of Patrick Stewart, who has played the role of Charles Xavier for all these years. But he's getting old. He's ready to retire from the role. And Professor X is from New York. He's not British. So, I mean, really, they need to get somebody who can be convincing as a New Yorker for that role. Not that Patrick Stewart wasn't great. He was amazing, and he was the fan cast at the time. That was really what they did. They wanted to appease the fans, and everybody wanted Patrick Stewart to play Charles Xavier. So I get it, and he was excellent. But it's definitely time for a change. And I think this guy will bring a lot of great things to the role. I really like James McAvoy as Professor X as well. He played a younger iteration of Professor X in some of the newer X-Men movies. But again, he's British. Well, no, he's Scottish. I'm sorry. He's Scottish. And even if they get someone from the UK, that's fine. But, maybe do a standard New York accent as opposed to the British accent. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I'm down for this. I'm excited about it. Okay? Moving on to Samara Weaving. She has been cast as Emma Frost. And I was kind of surprised about this, but I'm excited about it as well. Emma Frost has been part of the Hellfire Club in the Marvel Comics, and she's kind of a gray area when it comes to which side she fights on. So I'm curious to see where they will take her character. I have never heard of Samara Weaving before, but I did discover that she is Hugo Weaving's niece, because when I saw the last name Weaving, I'm like, oh, is she his daughter? And turns out she's his niece. So if you know who Hugo Weaving is from The Lord of the Rings and from the Matrix movies, then, it's his niece. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to see Emma Frost in this iteration. She was in the X-Men First Class movie. The character was. back in the day, and I thought the character was great, and I'm excited to see her in this iteration of the X-Men now. So stay tuned for more on that. All right, and then we're moving on to Indy Navarrete, who is playing Rogue. And I'm really excited to see Rogue in the new iteration of the X-Men. And I don't know anything about Indy Navarrete. I know she was in Obsession recently, and she was like a breakout star in Obsession, I guess. My partner saw the movie, my roommate saw the movie as well. I have not seen it, but I heard she was excellent in it, and there was a lot of surprise around her being cast, but I'm all for it. She seems like she'd fit the role, and I'm excited to see what she does with it. So, if you're not familiar with Rogue, she is able to absorb the thoughts, memories, powers of other mutants, and if she hangs on to you too long, she's likely to kill you because her skin is deadly. So, she is a very powerful mutant. And then we move on to a very surprising casting, and that is Maya Boyd as Storm. Storm is another Omega level mutant, and if you've seen the other X-Men movies, you're going to know who Storm is. If you've read the comics, obviously, you know who she is. If you watched X-Men 97, she's in that as well. So Storm is one of my favorite X-Men, and I'm excited to see her in this movie as well. Now, Maya Boyd is a complete unknown. She has some stage credits, dramatic stage performances and such like that, but I believe this is her first major motion picture role. And she looks like she's going to fit the part perfectly. I'm really excited about it. The guy that did the Black Panther movies, or at least the most recent Black Panther movie, Ryan Coogler, he is the one that had control over this particular casting. So I don't know if she's going to show up in the next Black Panther movie, how that's going to work, but I'm excited. She looks like she'll really do a great job. And then we get to a casting announcement, which I was hesitant about, and that is Adam Driver. I liked Adam Driver okay in the Star Wars sequels. I'm not really a huge fan, though. And initially the rumor had been that he was being cast as Magneto, but eventually that got debunked, and it was officially announced at D23 that he is playing Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister. And I'll be very curious to see how this plays out. I do think he'll probably be a good fit for Mr. Sinister, but I just don't know. I've only seen him in Star Wars. That's all I know him from. So maybe he is good in other things. I don't know. I have reservations, but I'm willing to give him a shot. And I do like the idea of him playing Mr. Sinister better than Magneto. When I first heard that he was rumored to be Magneto, I'm like, oh no, please don't put him in the role of one of my favorite villains from the MCU. Don't do that, please. I know they're not just doing this to please Chaz, but really, come on. He can't be Magneto, so I'm glad that they did not do him as Magneto. So those are all of the confirmed castings. Now I want to speculate a little bit about what's to come, because I'm sure there are some other roles that they are planning on casting that they have not yet, and I want to talk about those. So the first one I want to talk about is my favorite MCU character of all time, and that is Gambit. And he is also known as the Raging Cajun. He is a Cajun from down south Louisiana, originally part of a thieves guild, and then eventually he was taken out of the thieves guild and became a part of the X-Men. He has the ability to kinetically charge different items and use them for attacks, like playing cards. He also has a staff. My absolute favorite character. And I have a feeling that we will see him again. Now, he has been played already by Channing Tatum in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And Channing Tatum is reprising that role in Avengers Doomsday. I don't know about Secret Wars, but I know Doomsday for sure he is reprising his role. But I think eventually they will cast a different Gambit. I could be wrong, but I do think we will still see Gambit in the future because you can't have Rogue without Gambit. They're a thing. They're a couple. So where Rogue is, you will eventually find a Gambit. So we shall see how that all plays out. I think Channing Tatum did fine. I would like to see maybe a younger actor take the reins of that, but if they keep Channing Tatum around, I'm fine with that. I'm curious to see where he takes that character in the near future and if he continues to take on that character again as the X-Men saga goes on. We shall see. But I have a feeling they might eventually cast another actor. I think it all depends on how Doomsday and Secret Wars play out. If that version of Gambit is still alive, we shall see. But I'm really excited to see if we get another casting for Gambit. Also, there's Wolverine. Now, it has been made pretty clear that Hugh Jackman is going to continue to play Wolverine for the foreseeable future, at least through the end of the multiverse saga. So, Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars, and then maybe after that, Hugh Jackman will hang up the claws. I know he wants to do other things, so I can't imagine that he's probably going to stick around too much longer. But, you know, there was a joke in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie where, you know, they're going to keep him on until he's 99 years old. So you never know. But I think we'll see a younger Wolverine at some point. I don't know who I would want to cast in that role, but I do think we will see a different Wolverine at some point. And I'll be really curious if they're going to explore different variations of the Marvel Comics, because Wolverine is famously in love with Jean Grey, who is currently dating the Cyclops. But there are other Marvel comics where they are in a poly relationship, the three of them, and Jean Grey is dating both Wolverine and Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. So I don't know where they're going to go with that, and if Disney would even be willing to explore that angle. But there's a lot of ways that could go down based on the comics. So we shall see, I guess, where that goes. But I do think we'll get a recast of Wolverine, and, you know, who knows what's going to happen between him and Jean Grey. And then Magneto is another one. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with Magneto, especially because Magneto's character is a survivor of the Holocaust, and we are a century removed from the Holocaust now. So I don't know if they are going to cast Magneto in a different type of survivor scenario. I hope they don't, because I would like him to still be a Holocaust survivor. But to accomplish that, they might pull him from another reality, which is kind of like retro, where like he is a survivor of the Holocaust still, but he's pulled from a version of our Earth that has not advanced into the 21st century yet. I don't know how that will work. I really don't. With the multiverse saga, they could do anything along those lines, so we'll see where they go. But I am really, really excited to see Magneto. He is my second favorite villain in the MCU, next to Doctor Doom. Like, I don't know. I go back and forth on which one of them I like more. I'm super excited, though, guys. This could potentially be really good if they cast the right actor for Magneto. And then Iceman. Iceman is one of the original X-Men on the original X-Men team. And I had heard rumors that they were trying to go with the original X-Men team, but from the casting, it doesn't quite look like it. So I don't know what form that's going to take. But Iceman is great. I really like his character, and I would love to see him cast in this movie. And then, of course, Beast. Now, Beast was rumored to have been cast, but I don't know if they couldn't negotiate the contracts fast enough to be able to announce him at D23, or if they just haven't done a contract for his character yet. I don't know what that's going to look like. But Beast is amazing, and I hope that they do cast him. Charles Melton was rumored to be cast for the role. And again, I don't know really much about that actor, but if we get a casting announcement for him, he looks like he could play the part of Beast. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm just thoroughly and incredibly excited for this entire cast. I'm just beside myself that my favorite group from the Marvel Comics is finally going to get the story that it deserves in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. At least I hope it gets the story it deserves. I will be there day one. I will have day one tickets to see that movie when it comes out. So you'll probably be hearing from me more as more news comes out from this. But this was huge, guys. I mean, there were other things announced at D23 as well. We got an announcement for Vision Quest, which is kind of the continuation of WandaVision, but specifically focused on Vision. So that will be interesting. I watched the trailer and I don't know what to think of it right now. And then, of course, we got the original sizzle reel that debuted at, was it CinemaCon? I think it was at CinemaCon a couple of years ago for Doomsday, or maybe it was last year. But yeah, it was a reused footage essentially that they had showed there. They polished it up and made it into a new trailer that they released for Avengers Doomsday. And oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited. Yeah, Doom is definitely one of my favorite villains, and he deserves to have a spot in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I'll be really curious to see how this goes, because they cast Robert Downey Jr. in the role of Victor Von Doom, and I was really floored by that initially, but I'm starting to warm up to it. I'm kind of excited. He's doing an Eastern European accent, and Dr. Doom is of Eastern European origin, and so I'm really excited to see where it goes. I can't wait. So lots more to come with the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I will be there for it. You got me hooked, Disney. You really do. So that's all I've got to talk about. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I know it's been long and a bit rambly, but let me know in the comments below if you heard about this, if you are familiar with the X-Men. Let me know who some of your favorites are. Are you excited about these casting announcements? Have you seen Jean Grey in the new Spider-Man movie? Let me know. I would love to dialogue with you in the comments below. And guys, I thank you so much for tuning in. I will talk to you very soon. And if you want to watch more of my content, here's some ideas on the end screen.